Hello and welcome. PCM SimGame. Today we're doing the Tour of Oman. Just check that that's all working correctly. Doing a one-off race. This is the PCM. Hello and welcome. The PCM SimGame DB on the DB. Of course, most of you probably skip this because I am earlier than expected, but that is just because I'm free earlier this evening than expected. I figured I'd probably do this early on rather than to do it late and have to stay up late. While we wait for that to load, let's check which route you're using today. Tour of Oman. Loading the start list. I think it's the 2013 route, which is there. So it starts with a beautiful, nice flat stage for the sprinters. Stage 2 looks like it's got a nice little hill at the end, the climb Al Jahid. That'll separate the men from the boys. Possibly could be a solo victor, a climber, or a sprinter. Bit of everything, really. Stage 2 looks like a day for the puncheurs. Stage 4, definitely a mountain finish up the Great Mountain. And Stage 5 could be anyone's game with these 3 ascents of Usha Al-Bat. We're selecting all 5 stages and we're getting into it. So here are the teams in the race. One continent level team. It is ATT Investments. They're led by Jefferson Cepeda, and they are from the Czech Republic. They've got a reasonable sprinter in the likes of Kopecky. Cepeda will be their GC leader and pretty reasonably strong line of domestics. Bahrain Victorious, one of the first World Tour teams here. Lawrence de Plus looks to be their GC man 78 mountain. Very, very strong domestics. And no real sprinter, maybe Barati. Bora Hansgrove, Quinn Simmons. Bit of a puncher. Sean Quinn and Quinn Simmons, that's what confused me. Maybe Sean Quinn might be the leader there. Frigo. Again, no real sprinter. I mentioned Data have got Gulshkone. They're a pro Conti team. And they've got Nzolo, 2 reasonable strength riders, and again, another strong squad of domestics. If Education Easy Post, led by Nielsen Paulus, he's definitely the GC man, and Jake Stewart's by far their sprinter. FDJ have Utebrooks, strong man here in this pro Conti race, and do they have a sprinter? Not really. HTC Columbia, High Road, Lenny Martinez, strong Frenchman. Ben Tullett, look at them, very, very strong squad once again. I guess it's only one sprint stage, I guess. Then again, there's Pascal Ackermann. He looks to be the strongest sprinter we've seen so far. Rui Costa, Mateusz Vacek. It's a nice squad there for Hogarth and Farm Fleets. Lotto Destiny, led by Edward Dunbar, who of course won those 2 stages in the Vuelta just a few days ago. And they second-tier sprinter in Berlins. Mapai GB have Haven Hoyke, not the greatest. Again, no sprinter really, just Corbin Strong, and no real GC men. Michelin Premier Tech, Patrick Conrad, looking pretty strong as a puncher, as we know it's a punchy kind of course. Red Bull KTM, Attila Volta, looks to be a good GC leader. Inkhorn, possibly for the sprints. Sevgo Anikala, Omar Frale for the overall. Maybe no real sprinter there. Santander's got Steph Kras. Look like they're going all in for GC. Sudo Quickstep got Jai Hindley. Shit, that's going to be a tough race. Guillaume Martin. St. Parker Uber, Simon Clark, Ida Schelling is here. For St. Parker Uber. Tudor Pro Cycling, Stefano Oldani. Looks like they've gone for more a puncher, sprintery rider. UAE Team Emirates with Roman Bardet, Alexis Boudin, and Simon Cossoni is probably a big sprinter name there. David Decker is lead out. Into the race now. Tour of Oman. Like we said, pan flat flat stage to begin with. We've got a KOM with looks like no KOM points on offer, but instead the intermediate sprints are offering KOM points and sprint points. Interesting. The finish line is just offering sprint points. Like we said, sprinty stage. Ackerman is the favourite. Nizzolo, Consone, Tobias, Lund, Anderson. Before we get into it, we'll double check the settings. Normal, 1, 1, and 5. And this is the 2013 Tour of Oman. This is an absolute throwback, 2013. Let's have a look what happened. Stage 1. It's close enough to the real stage. It was won by Marcel Kittel, Team Argos Shimano. Then David Apollono of AG2R and Nasser Berhani of FDJ. Out of the top 10, it looks like perhaps only Christoph is still riding. Nope, and Jacopo Guarnieri, also in the top 10 back in 2013. Oh, and Viviani actually. Viviani in 9th, both for Cannondale Pro Cycling. Interesting. Oh, they didn't have mountain points, I see. Back in 2013. Anyway, in to start the race, let's get our rider on zeros on a -1 day. Look at these beautiful jerseys once again. Kubota Sake. Did we skip over them? Completely, did we? Alex Aramburu, Poncher is the leader. But there we go, it's the Stellas. Uta Brooks is the absolute favourite. Bolovaci, Koenig, Hindley, Bardet, De Plus, and Martinez. Right at the very bottom, Simon Clark of St. Michael Uber, Dunbar, Frale, and Aldani. Looks like the first few riders have launched an attack. And it is Kellerman of Shooter Pro Cycling. So we've got Anikala sending 2 riders in the breakaway, Melot and Linares. More riders trying to join them, like with Bonza, the Colombian from Lotto Destiny, Dennis from St. Michael Uber, but Peter Sagan, former world champion of UAE Team Emirates, he is on the front of the peloton, as it looks like UAE wanted to win this stage. And who do UAE have? Roman Bardet, but do they have a sprinter? Simon Cassone, he is a very strong sprinter. Aaron Gate also at the front for Team Mapai GB. They must be working for Corbin Strong. He must be feeling pretty strong today. He's the New Zealand national champion with the Mapai jerseys. He's Sagan with his world champion band around his arms. That signifies he is a former world champion. Looks like they're not happy with the composition of the breakaways. We're heading out now into the desert. The train goes upwards until, well, is that halfway? Just under halfway, and then it'll be downhill once again and back to the flat. So really, overall, not too much of a bad day, and not even that much of a crosswind either. Only 7 kilometers from the right-hand side. Also at the front, we see EF Education Easy Post have Hoagland helping out with the pacemaking, and Araya from Team Dimension Data. Looks like Guttabonzia is kinda struggling now, still going 45 k's an hour, so still doing quite well. This is the Aaron Gate, who will ride for Astana Kazakhstan team next year in real life, doing a lot of the pacemaking. Oh, Hogarden's also joining in now, but Homie for Farm Flights. 50 seconds is the gap to the breakaway. They've caught Guttabonza, and apparently that's all the peloton really wanted, as the gap is now extending to a minute 20. One of the Sebga Anikala riders cannot keep up. Melot looks to have done his time at the front for Linares, and he is now peeling back to the peloton. Does not look like it is by choice. The break is back. Melot has caught up. They must have set up. It looks like they have. They're going about 39 k's an hour. The peloton's going 33.25 as Aaron Gate peels off the front. Jonas Griegard also helping out with that pacemaking. Looking back in the peloton, other national champs, we have Alex Aramburu of Kubota Sake. Rui Costa, the Portuguese champion of Team Hogarden Farm Flights. What other cool national jerseys do we have? I saw the USA one, I think. There's a televolta of Red Bull KTM. Slow it down a bit so we don't miss this KOM point. There we are, Sean Quinn, American national champion. Bora, of course, had a beautiful jersey there. And that's really it. Back to the breakaway. 4 minutes 50, 5 minutes to the KOM. And like we said, there's no KOM points on offer here. It's just a KOM marker. So whether the riders will still sprint a bit for it, just for, I guess, glory and line honours, they will. And then RS launches second behind Kellerman, but overtakes him as he is the sprinter. And of course, we will see no statistics for who takes that, because there's like, you know, there's nothing here. Oop, nothing there at all. They've, of course, dropped at Melot once again. Still holding about 4 minutes 20. The peloton have woken up. They're starting to go about 40 kilometers an hour now. Haven't seen UAE take a turn recently. It's just Farm Flight. Oh, there's UAE. It is Peter Sagan, Farm Flights, Mapai, EF Education, Dimension Data, and I think I saw Sam Oomen there just before. It is Sam Oomen for EF Education Easy Post. Jonas Griegard helping out, bringing some drink bottles there to Aaron Gate. He must be quite thirsty, doing a lot of the pacemaking through the desert. 6 kilometers till we get to the first actual lot of points on the road. Now remembering, as we pointed out early on, there's mountain points and sprint points up for grabs, and bonus seconds. First across the line, 3 bonus seconds, 3 mountain points, 3 sprint points. Perhaps the mountain points represents intermediate sprint points in this race? That could be the case here. Looks like the Venezuelan is the favourite for the sprint. He launches at the same time as Kellerman and takes it with ease. 1-3 for the boys from Sepgau, any colour. There we have it there. Oh, the gap has reduced significantly since the peloton woke up. All the excellent work from the New Zealand national champion Aaron Gate. 3 minutes 13 and reducing. Puncture for Lagan of HTC Columbia, but he is back in the pack. There's Lawrence Plus, the GC leader of Bahrain. He's sitting nice and comfortably. Look at these riders, no one's really struggling too much, and they shouldn't. Today will just be a short, quick stage. Unlike the further stages in the race, where we'll see some mountains and some hills. I mean, there's one big hill, and then we're just going down the hill once again. If we have a look at the race map, it's an out and back course, just up the hill, back down the hill. There is one intermediate sprint left, with of course the same as before, 3 mountain, 3 sprint, and 3 seconds. So this must be an intermediate sprint classification. The gap is reduced almost down to a minute, 50 kilometers to go, so I think the peloton's going to catch them too early, but perhaps that's their plan and they wish to have a bit of a rest. The wind's picking up slightly, it's now 10 kilometers an hour, but still coming from the same direction. Peloton's a little bit stretched out, but nothing that is unmanageable. We now see Rex on the front doing a big push. You can see the breakaway. They're just up ahead of him, the motorbike's in between them. Jonas Griegard, Ben Hermans and Jonas Griegard now helping out. Aaron Gate must be feeling quite tired. Guillaume Boivin, former Canadian national champion there for Team Mapai. Harm van Hoyke, the GC leader, is rolling up to the front for Team Mapai. Melot sits up, he knows his day in the break is over. He's here chilling in the peloton. 36 Ks to go, 7.2 to the intermediate sprint. Do we think the breakaway can hold on? Kellerman thinks not, as he sits up and allows Linares to continue alone. The peloton does not take that, is not going to let Linares take the points there. Peter Sagan still on the front, pushing the pace quickly. 54 kilometers an hour for the peloton, 49 for the breakaway. It looks like he's struggling. There's 20 seconds to catch him, as we see Ben Hermans now for Mapai. Entry. Hey, Kaitillas, hello. Apologies, I started early. Anyway, 2Ks to the sprint. Here we see some sprint trains. Matthias Vacek leading out Pascal Ackermann. Lund Andersen is the first to launch. Ackermann in his wheel, followed by Consonni. Can they even come out of the slipstream? They cannot. Lund Andersen just pushing away and powering to the line. No one helps. Looks like the second tier sprinters, Stewart, Bulens, Lawrence, Lund, Nizzolo, doing a bit of action there, but nothing too great. Still Mapai on the front. So it looks like Corbin Strong, wherever he is in the peloton, is on a strong day. We are down here. Oh, there's Corbin Strong up there near the front. Is someone protecting him? It looks like it's Albert Torres, track cycling, the Spanish track cycling star. Han van Hoyk is helping up with the pacemaking. That's a tactical error by Mapai. Anyway, 23 kilometers to the finish. The map shows it is going to be reasonably straight in, a few curvy bits, but the actual finish is... oh yeah, there is quite a few bends actually. Not the greatest. And we see a few sprint trains properly forming now. We have the Mapai train in full force. All 7 riders, which means Corbin Strong will get pushed off his wheel. We have the UAE Team Emirates train here for Consoni. The right hand side, Nizzolo's in the middle of the Farm Freaks team. Patrick Conrad for Mitchelton. Stefan Oldani with Tudor on the left. ATT trying to lead Kopecky through the middle, perhaps onto the back of Aaron Buru. Nope. Moving up through the middle. Lund Anderson only has one. Mapai has got some stupid ass long train for some reason. 17 kilometers to go. Epis looks to be a little bit dead. I'm surprised Peter Sagan hasn't taken over yet from him. Looks like he's trying to swing across, trying to get off the front, but Sagan's not rolling through. Perhaps Sagan needs a bit of word. Maybe he wants to get some glory and sprint for himself. I don't think so, so we've got the likes of Decker and Consoni. Once again, Corbin Strong pushed off his wheel with their long train. Alberto Torres could be the man they're going for today. Even Guillaume Boivin. 12 kilometers. We head further down the peloton looking at the teams who are missing out. Bahrain Victorious not in the mix. HTC Columbia, who were once thought of as the greatest sprinters in the world. No, not contesting this sprint. Axel Lawrence, I guess, is on the back of Consoni. Here comes the Farm Fritz train crossing up through the middle. Bahomi pushing the pace, dropping the Mapai team. We see Van Hoyke pull off. Griegard hop off. Looks like a almost normal train now. Corbin Strong, 4 riders in front of him. Ackerman also got 4 riders. The train, I guess, drag race of the 2 greats in this race, it seems. Although I wouldn't call them the favourites. I'd say Ackerman's more of a favourite. Even Nizzolo could possibly sprint better than Corbin Strong. Cicconi's finding himself up near the front. Gilmore for Team Sepka Anikala, 5 kilometers to go. Mosca on the right hand side of the road. Herman's on the left. The Mapai trains got themselves all mixed up in the middle. Once again, it's a big scrum now as we see Lund Anderson, who of course won that second intermediate sprint in the middle of Moscon, leading out Cyril Barth on the right hand side for Groupama FDJ. What's happening with that? It's a big mess now for Mapai as we see Torres and Strong trading places. Berlins launches on the right hand side. Berlins comes around him. Nizzolo through the middle. Looks like an easy win for Giacomo Nizzolo. Corbin Strong tries to come up close to him, but not even. So we see Simon Consone take second in the first sprint. Well done, Nizzolo of Team Dimension Data. Small split there, but I think that won't be a time gap on today's Pan Flat stage. Last across the line is the Japanese rider for Team EF Education Easy Post, but they all get the bunch time there. First podium of the Tour of Oman. Giacomo Nizzolo, Team Dimension Data. Beautiful Dimension Data jersey. Well done to him. Running up the podium, Simone Cassoni and Corbin Strong of Team Mapai. Where did Ho Garden Farm Flights? There's Pascal Ackerman in 6th. And who else was big on the front? Pseudo Quickstep, Tobias Lund Anderson in 8th. GC is Nizzolo leading Consone, Strong, Lund Anderson, Linares, Ackerman, Kellerman, Belote, and Leary. Red jersey for Nizzolo. Also means he's in the points classification. Best climber is Linares. He's leading the intermediate sprints, tied with Lund Anderson. Points classification, like we said before, is Nizzolo, then Consone, Strong, Beneri, and Ackerman. Young rider is Corbin Strong. He takes it by 1 second. Mapai is on the podium. My biasm coming out once again. Biastism. Team and Dimension Data in the team jersey. Exporting those results. Stage 1 Tour of Oman. no time gaps to speak of. Withdrawal is just our simulation rider. But there's our top 10 and the GC. Few riders in the Linares, Lund Anderson, of course, those bonus seconds on those intermediate sprints. Points, Mountain, I think intermediate sprint points, and young rider Corbin Strong. Stage 2, going to be a bit more interesting, exciting finish. Once again, the mountain points, mountain sprints do nothing. So, the mountain jersey is definitely intermediate sprint points. So it's all flat. We've got intermediate sprint points in the first little section. Then it gets more interesting. We've got 2 small rises quite close to the finish line. That second hill about 3 kilometers out. Possibly a day for the climbers or punchers. We see Corbin Strong of Mapai as the favourite. Ho ho ho. Followed by Christian Scaroni of Red Bull, KTM, Ciccone, XL Lawrence. We see we've got a few climbers there. And then a bit more puncher riders. Bit of a mix in everything. Let's have a look at stage 2 of the Tour of Oman in 2013. Who won this stage? This stage was won by none other than Peter Sagan, who is competing here today. He was running for Cannondale Pro Cycling, and he won 5 seconds ahead of Tony Gallopin. And then Martin Ilmiger, also same time as Gallopin. Nibali in 4th, Stibar 5th, Chris Froome in 6th, Marco Bandera in 7th, Marco Mercato, Daryl Impey, and Nasser Buhani leading the peloton in 11 seconds back, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Interesting finish. So it looks like in real life it was a puncher leading the climbers, leading the peloton. So perhaps that's what's going to happen today. In terms of that, we're going to get all the jerseys on except for youth. We can see the big red names there are the GC contenders. The best climber is the intermediate sprint classification, which will be in the GC anyway, and Aaron Buru, you see, is in the points classification. For some reason, he's not highlighted for the top 10 of the GC, even though he's 10th overall. There we have Peter Sagan. Remember, he remembers this course quite well. 11 years ago for Peter Sagan was when he last rode this route, and he won with Cannondale Pro Cycling. Same teams as yesterday on the front. They mentioned data. UAE Team Emirates, Mapai, Kubota Sake actually showing their face now. Maybe they have, maybe Alex Aramburu prefers this finish. Breakaway looks to be 5 riders. They've got a minute already, so it looks like the peloton's happy to let these riders go. Ida Schelling and Budak of Team Saint Marco Uber. Gianni Moscon, famed Ineos rider, now riding for Groupama FDJ. Silva of Sabga Anikala, another day in the breakaway for their team, and Mendoza for Tudor Pro Cycling. Quite a mix here. Perhaps Schelling will take lots of points in the intermediate classification. I'm not sure if they'll hang on long enough to gain the second lot of points. We will have to see. Pretty boring through the desert. Araya doing quite a good job there for Time Engine Data. Pablo Torres not expecting a flat finish. The lead out man for Corbin Strong doing a lot of work. And while we do that, I can hear the wind. If we look at it, it is 29 kilometers an hour from the right hand side. In terms of nautical science, it looks like it is a, what's that, southeaster, 29 kilometers an hour. Can we see the peloton? Big echelon at the front of the stage. Everyone's hiding in the gutter. This isn't a wind zone, so I don't expect there to be too much damage done in the race. Vinokourov, oh, that's a name from the past. That's, of course, Alexander Vinokourov's son, Nicholas Vinokourov, riding for EF Education Easy Post. 6.5 kilometers to the intermediate sprint. We did choose Ida Schelling to take that. Let's have a look and see what actually occurs. 1.8 kilometers. It is Mendoza leading them up this short climb. It's only 0.6%. It's barely a climb. 2%. Oh, I guess it is getting a little bit steeper towards the top. Silva launches first. Moscon through the middle. Moscon versed Mendoza, but Schelling, I think, came around to the last possible. No. According to this, Moscon takes it, then Mendoza, then Schelling. Schelling losing his teammate in the process, the climber from Ukraine. But they're all setting up, they're all going to regroup. 3 minutes 40 ahead of the peloton. They've done the long climb of the day, gentle descent into the short, punchy finish. Haven't had too many accidents this race, I guess because it's not so wet. The roads are quite dry, a little bit of dust on the road, but everyone can kind of generally see what they're doing. And look at that, the gap is fluctuating about 2 minutes 50. Must be the work of the Dimension Data Squad, as the green riders have been sitting at the front all day. Of course, they are protecting their leader, Giacomo Nizzolo, who I don't think will do too well today, but who knows? He could be on a great day of the extra morale boost for winning the first stage. Perhaps he feels it is his to hold on to. Gap's now a minute 50. It is indeed reducing. Still the 5 men out in front. No one's looking particularly tired, but it looks like they're all rotating round together. Ooh, who's not doing it? Idish Kelling's not doing a big turn. He's sitting on the back of Mendoza now. Perhaps he's expecting his domestique Wojtek to do a lot of the work. Bit weird though that the riders in the breakaway are jamming each other in the gutter. Perhaps they're just taking the shortest route on the road. Gianni Moscon looking strong there for Groupama FDG. Ooh, small split happening in the peloton. I think that was because of the wind. We might have to... It was an interesting situation, that was. Because Race Radio didn't record anything, did they? No, they didn't. His riders are dropping back, so it looks like the pace is just a lot, and a bit of the wind, maybe change in wind direction, just caught some people off guard there. First short climb of the day, not categorized, nothing on offer here, just a climb in the desert. Perhaps to wake those legs up for what is to come. We see Budek, the actual climber from the group, dropping everyone else, doing quite well. He must have done a lot of work there for Iderschelling in the beginning. He is caught quite quickly by the Mapai-led peloton. Ben Herman's leading them over the top, and a split once again. It is riders, it looks like, from Farm Frights who are dropping the wheel here. And another split further behind. Uterbrooks is the big name to be left behind. Simon Clark, FDJ, are dropping back for their leader. I think it will all come back together, but it's less than ideal with 44 kilometers to go. Any other big names left behind? Nah, just Uterbrooks here. He, of course, is wearing the number 1 on his back. He is the favourite, according to the game, to win this race. Excitement with 40 kilometers to go in Oman. It looks like they're not moving, but they are going 48 kilometers an hour. The peloton is going quite slow, so they should definitely make the catch. Uterbrooks has to pace himself back into the peloton, using a bit of energy there. He'll be quite grumpy. I'm surprised he's not on the radio to his teammates. And it looks like they are about to make the catch. Before the real climbing, Odani makes the catch for... Oh, I say that as the peloton just increases just enough to piss everyone off at the back, who only have just made it back on. Once again, the wheel has been dropped. It looks like it is Widar who drops the wheel this time, heading back to the front of the race. Peter Sagan is going full tilt. He can see the breakaway there in his sights. The breakaway is going full tilt. They want to hold on. They want to try and gain some more points in these classifications. It is now Kudas on the front for Team Dimension Data. Kajamini also there. Ooh, look at him. He's got nice stats. Haven't heard of him before. But they are stringing the peloton out as the gap between these two groups only gets larger. Where is Uterbrooks? Did Uterbrooks make it across? Uterbrooks is still in this second bunch on the road. He at the moment is the biggest loser. Ooh, Omar Frale for Selga Anikala. Steph Kras also here. Ooh, big GC names not in the main move. Although in saying that, like we said before, the real mountains haven't started yet. Another split has occurred at the back of the peloton. More riders are just falling off the pace. Steph Kras of Team It's at Santander, having to do his own chasing here as we look towards the back of the peloton, all strung out. The wind is reduced, it is only 17 kilometers an hour, but it's still very, very difficult. Lotto Destiny, Eddie Dunbar's in the second bunch. Lotto Destiny have sent all their domestics, they've realised the issue now, and they are trying their hardest to make it to the top. They're about to start the first categorised climb of the day, Climb of Muscat. Average 4.8%, max 8.1. We see Jonas Grigard bringing some bottles up to the front of Guillaume Boivin. Nizzolo's at the front. He's trying to protect his red jersey. He knows if he's at the front and dropped, he's got more time to catch up. Grigard up here. Lot of riders from Team Red Bull KTM. Sagan still finding himself at the front today. Aaron Buru's here. The white jersey of Corbin Strong's up towards the front of the peloton. Aaron Gate was keeping him safe over the top of the climb. Who is the first rider? Is Severek, the Slovakian. Perhaps we'll see a different Slovakian win today's stage. Riders are falling off the back of the peloton. We say goodbye to Ben Hermans, Barhomi Pinto, Uterbrooks still chasing behind, even riders behind him. There's Sagan right at the back of today's stage, but Uterbrooks, he's got a bigger bunch with him now, but he's still not caught up to the main peloton. With one climb to go, there's not much further until he does some real damage to himself. Sam Oomen sitting at the back. 6.3 kilometers to the intermediate sprint. Remember the 3 bonus seconds, 3 mountain points, and 3 sprint points on offer for the riders here. 14 kilometers overall in the whole race left. It means it's all going to be exciting in this point of the race. More riders dropping off the rear. We say goodbye to Lima, Gilmore, and Chimalai. Few riders on the back. Looks like they're struggling. Duval looks like he cannot keep up with the pace. Who is doing the actual pacemaking here? It is Farm Flights UAE Mapai. Han van Hoyke. We see an attack now. Nope, it's the sprinters going for it. Nizzolo, he wants to gain those bonus seconds to hold his overall. Ackerman takes the win ahead of Consoni and Nizzolo. Does anyone else behind contest it? No, it looks like it's just domestics trying to push the pace of the peloton. They're now about to begin the final climb of the day. It is Climb Al Jahid, another category 3, and there's another split in the peloton. More riders are behind. Berade has been caught out. Plowright, another sprinter. Looks like a few of these sprinters here, no real GC men, but Uterbrooks has made the catch to the back of the peloton, and then a split has happened in the middle. Back at the front, it is KTM, Red Bull KTM, pushing up the hill. Han van Hoyke there. Attila Volta, some of the big GC names who were not caught up behind. There is, I guess, Gil Ciccone is going to become the main man. Volta now pushing up on the left-hand side of the road. Corbin Strong keeping himself safe in the middle. He's there with Han van Hoyke. Which one of those two from Mapai will it be? Pesantini of Kubate Soccer on the front. Are they going to let the wheel go? Is the bunch going to go over together? A favourite has been dropped. Stefano Oldani has dropped off the back of the peloton. Pesini took the maximum points there on offer. Well, there's no points, actually. Coming down towards the finish line, it's going to become a reduced bunch. Sprint, Ackerman and Nizzolo is here. Can Nizzolo go 2 from 2? We saw Corbin Strong through the middle of the screen. 300 metres to go. Ackerman's going to take the stage. Corbin Strong with another podium finish. Kudos taking second for Team Dimension Data. Well done to them. And we see 32 riders in the first group. Who's leading the second group home? Rochas, Adria, Jai Hindley in that second bunch. Perhaps that was close enough to be the same time. Where is Uterbrooks? How far down is he? Here he is now on the road. He's definitely not going to be the same time as the leaders. He is a big loser for today. Remembering he was the absolute favourite to win the race. Omar Frale even further down. Dunbar, Simon Clark also finding himself out of position. Moscon was in today's breakaway. There's Mendoza, Schelling, Barhomi. There's Linares, who of course was wearing that yellow jersey for the mountain classification. Way out of contention. And Peter Sagan from 2013, first home, to 2024, last home on today's stage. Let's have a look to that exciting podium. We see Pascal Ackerman of Ho Garden Farm Frights taking the stage win, ahead of Mohawi Kudas and Corbin Strong, another third place for the Mapai rider. Alex Arenburu in a close fourth, followed by Simon Consoni. GC, Ackerman takes over for Ho Garden Farm Frights. Nizzolo in second. now pushed 4 seconds down. Consone 6 seconds. Corbin Strong in 4th. Kudas up to 5th, and then 15 seconds back to those, I guess, GC riders. Best climber goes to Ackerman as he takes the most of those intermediate sprint points. And points classification. Ackerman is now in charge of all 3 jerseys in this race. Looks like Consone will wear the points jersey on behalf of Ackerman tomorrow. Corbin Strong extends his GC lead from 1 second to 8 seconds ahead of Mateusz Kapecki of ATT Investments. And Red Bull KTM now in the lead of the team's GC dimension data, still on the same time as UAE Emirates, Mapai, Kubota Sake, and HTC Columbia High Road. What a very interesting stage 2 of the Tour of Oman. We saw a pretty boring shittiness, a few riders getting dropped, and then the action happened. Let's have a look what time gaps happened today. Stage 2. Pascal Ackerman, of course, taking the win. Now we saw about 22 riders. Looks like 32 riders kept up at the front. So Roman Bardet is still up there. Attila Volta, Lenny Martinez, Han van Hoyke, David Di Formolo, Gil Ciccone, I guess the strongest rider that kept up. 20 seconds back, Jai Hindley, Lawrence De Plus, Quinn Simmons, 33 seconds, Nielsen Paulus, Sam Uman, Vinokurov, 150 to Wallen. Otterbrooks finds himself 2 minutes 36 down. Very, very tough ask for the man from Groupama FDJ. Omar Fraley even worse, 420 down. Dunbar 420. Bit of a shame for those riders. And Peter Sagan, the last rider home, 956. There's the GC. At this stage, the top 4 actually staying the same, just changing order a bit. Kudas moving up quite significantly. Very, very dangerous race. Looks like Consone will wear points jersey tomorrow, or perhaps Mountain. Youth is still Corbin Strong, and team is Red Bull KTM. Stage 3 looks like more of a flat puncher, perhaps sprinter stage. Corbin Strong is the favourite once again. Christian Scaroni is the second favourite man on the road. Looks like a punchery kind of day. Perhaps not a day for Corbin Strong once again. Let's have a look, shall we? Stage 3 back in 2013 was won by Peter Sagan. He was in yellow and he won once again. This time 1 second ahead of none other than Greg van Avermaet. Tony Gallopin third. Alberto Contador. Marco Mercato 4 seconds back to looks like the peloton. Andrea Pascalin, Philippe Gilbert, Ronaldo Nocentini, Peter Velitz, and Nasser Buhani. No, that was not the peloton. It looks like this stage had more time gaps than the last. Maybe those hills are quite deceiving. We'll have a look at the profile as the race begins now. It looks like nothing on here, so perhaps real life it's just enough to be a pain in the ass. Anyway, let's get these labels on. Hopefully a bit more distinction now between riders. Lund Anderson is wearing the intermediate sprint jersey. Where are the other jerseys? Pascal Ackerman in red. Must be Consone in points, yep, and Corbin Strong in white. At the front, no one's going to get in today's breakaway yet. Maybe Peter Sagan setting too hard of a pace. There is 2 intermediate sprint. There we go. Kellerman and Dennis hasn't been there, but Kellerman once again. Well done to him. Fernandez, Strike, Van der Burg. Oh, the peloton's not happy with something there, but Homie is straight onto the front. 50 kilometers an hour. Bloody hell. No wind to speak of today. But the 2 groups out in front are becoming one group of 7, 30 seconds, but they're having to go flat tack 55 kilometers an hour to even get somewhat of a gap from the breakaway. Dimension Data looks like they fancy Nizzolo on today's stage. And they're setting up now. Okay, maybe they've decided they're all happy. Let's get fast forward till we get to some of the action. Fast forward all the flat section of the stage. Here we go, 5 kilometers to the intermediate sprint. Who is my pick? Looking at the stats, it could be quite a few people. I'm going to pick Vandenberg. He's got, of Groupama FDJ, he has got a teammate though, Berardi. Could be either of them, but I choose the Dutchman. They've got 5 minutes 20 on the peloton. The best placed rider of them is Gilmore of Savio Anicolor. He is 2 minutes 5 seconds down. 1.5 kilometers to the sprint. Is anyone going for it? Yes, Gilmore. Out of nowhere, Gilmore takes the intermediate sprint. Did no one else really care? I guess the camera was too far forward to see what happened there. But well done to Gilmore of Savio Anicolor. Way out of expectations. They're doing really well in this race. Peloton being led by Peter Sagan. He's really not giving them any care in the world. He just likes to be on the front of the peloton, center of attention. 3-time world champion. Behind him we have riders from Team Dimension Data, led of course by Joe Whitley. They of course have brought South African cycling, well, African cycling, back to the peloton. Bahomia Farm Flights also up there at the front. Ooh, one categorized climb on today's stage, category 3, Boscher Elmerat. Shit, that looks tough. 7.8%, 16.7% maximum. Jesus. Not looking like a good day to climb a hill. Gap reducing slightly. We go over this little tiny hill in the desert. It's about 5 minutes now from the 6 minutes that it was before. Still Dimension Data doing most of the work. About to hit the categorized climb. I mean, we'll see if people sprint for it. We know there's no points on offer. They don't know that. Perhaps there's prize money on the day for who goes over the climb first. Will we see? Is his name Barry? I want to say his name is Barry. Brady Gilmore. 90th. Second best rider for Sepka Anicolor. Anyway, they just began the climb. Now we see the gap increasing as they go up the climb. But look at them, they're going 13 kilometers an hour. It's like 10% gradient. Well, there's a few real climbers here. But jeez, look at them, almost brought to a standstill from the desert where they were going about 51 to 13 k's an hour up this climb. You see the black part of the gradient is very, very high percentage, usually above 10%. As we see, as the shade gets a bit more red, it's a bit lower, then orange, then green is pretty easy hill. They're all still riding together. The gap is still 4 minutes as the peloton now begins the climb. We see an attack on the left-hand side by by Quinn Simmons. Lawrence de Plus joins him in their endeavour. What is their aim here? Perhaps to get across to the breakaway, because both of those riders lost 35 seconds in yesterday's stage. I can't tell if anyone's reacting. The road is too steep. It looks like Dimension Data are chasing him down. They're going about 17 kilometers an hour, which is quite much quicker than the breakaway. They've already made up 30 seconds on the peloton, but they are no match for the domestics from Hogarden Farm Flights. The gap to the breakaway has reduced significantly, and they had 4 minutes 15 at the bottom of the climb. They've only got just under 3 minutes at the top. Kellerman and Vandenberg are sprinting over the top for the mountain. I don't know who got it, but it looks like Kellerman, then Verstrange, then Vandenberg. Over the top, the gap is 3 minutes. Meanwhile, in the peloton, is any other riders attacking? Nope, Quinn Simmons, he's just chilling. Peloton stretching out over the descent. Ooh, small split did occur momentarily, but it looks like they're all back together again. is strung out quite significantly. So all it takes is a runner up here to do something, and back here, and you're just fucked. You're totally out of it. We see the gap to the breakaway back out to 4 minutes. Another bit of boring desert. 3 minutes is the gap. They're back to chasing down the breakaway. There's Wallen on the front. Mojave Kudus, 5th overall, doing the pacemaking for Dimension Data. They must have absolute faith in Nizzolo for today's stage. They want Nizzolo back in red. He, of course, is second, 4 seconds down. Perhaps they want to catch the break so they can get to this intermediate sprint and gain some seconds. Who knows? 13 kilometers till the intermediate sprint. There we are, 3.7 kilometers. The gap is now 2 minutes. Still Team Dimension Data on the front of the peloton. Haven't seen much of Mapai today. Perhaps Corbin Strong's having a shitty day. I mean, no one's protecting him, so I don't know what's up with that. 1.7, the breakaway's definitely going to make it to the intermediate sprint. Vandenberg just off the back. Is Gilmore going to do an absolute masterclass and take the second intermediate sprint? Also, looks like Kellerman takes second. Gilmore takes the second intermediate sprint. And Verstrange in the third. Kellerman on a good day. Gilmore on a good day even. Not sure if he was on such a good day. I wonder why they didn't want to sprint with him. Perhaps his hill is not. No, his hill's looking pretty good too. Interesting. Let's keep up with the peloton now, as we know they are going to catch the breakaway. Here comes Mapai now to the front. They've decided to save their cards till the end of the race. They're going to make it hard over these slight rises, perhaps to try and drop some of the more pure sprinters. I did see Sam Bennett on the start list, didn't I? I think. Who's Sam Bennett ride for now? Did I see Sam Bennett? Maybe I'm mistaken. Dunbar. I was probably thinking about Dunbar. Anyway. David Decker doing well in this stage as a domestic, actually. On the front, doing some work for their sprinter. Soudal Quickstep showing their face. Jai Hindley even helping out with some of that pace making. Here we see the train going up about 3%. There's no gradient on the front. Looks like the FDJ riders are talking to each other. Barade is saying, man, I can't keep up with this pace. I'll work for you for a bit longer, but it's not for me to keep up. Barade's dropping off. He'll make his way back to the peloton and perhaps straight through the back. Jonas Griegard, the Denmark. What do they call riders? People from Denmark? Danes. The Dane-ish rider on the front for Team Mapai. So David Decker's trying to push the pace intensely. Barade's being caught. A minute now is the gap. We're about to head down a descent before the final punches towards the line. Looks like some of the sprinters are chilling at the middle part. This looks like a bad place to be with no domestics. If the pace is to increase, they might have to jump across and waste some of their energy. Nizzolo's got no one. Consoni is there. Nielsen powerless. Aaron Gate, maybe he's heading up to Corbin Strong now. He's dropped by Nizzolo. Back at the front is Lipovitz for Team Soudal Quickstep. $18 kilometers, the final 20 kilometers of the race, 40 seconds, still Soudal Quickstep on the front. David Decker, surprised he didn't have, I guess he's the lead out man for the UAE Team Emirates sprinter. Rui Costa now for Team Farm Fruits, moving up towards the front. What's happening here? Guillaume Boivin trying to make the catch. There's 15 kilometers to go. The earlier they make the catch, the bit less work that will have to be done. Verstrange is going full gas on the front. Dennis and Kellerman not rolling through. Not the greatest for Gilmore, who's on a good day. 30 seconds now is the gap. Jai Hindley, who lost 35 seconds yesterday. He is now doing some of the pacemaking, trying to pull up to the breakaway for his sprinter. Corbin Strong going backwards through the peloton, not on a good form today. Guillaume Chicone doing some of the work. There's a little climb here, about 4%. Will we see an attack from a climber? Maybe a puncher? Maybe that's what Chicone is doing up near the front. Interesting. 9.3 kilometers to go. Maybe should see some sprint trains. Perhaps not. Van Hoyke finds himself towards the front. He, of course, remembers 15 seconds down. Same time as the rest of the peloton. Aaron Gate up near the front. Ackerman and Consone up towards the front on this final climb. This is the final steep bit of the course. 7 kilometers to go. Quinn Simmons tries once again. Looks like his attack on the earlier climb was just to see if it would work. Duplus and Consone try to counter. Consone cannot keep up with the pace set by the climbers. It is Quinn Simmons and Lawrence Duplus out in front. Attila Volta now going for it, jumping away from the pack. Guillaume Martin of Team Soudal Quickstep. Farm Fritz tries to send the domestics up the road. They're blocking Roger Adria. Guillaume Chicone trying to jump across to the group of 4. 3.5 kilometers to go. Everyone's looking a little dead. Guillaume Martin tries to go again. Volta now goes for it. The bunch is peloton's all in shambles behind, unsure how to react. Do they send their sprinters? It looks like they do, as that initial breakaway was caught. Lund Anderson is going for it. Ackerman, the red jersey on the left-hand side of the road. Have they gone too early? Will someone come around them? Simon Consoni on the right-hand side of the road. Nizzolo through the middle, but Ackerman holds on to claim another stage for Team Hogarden Farm Flights. Corbin Strong losing a lot of time there. Nizzolo getting some bonus seconds to possibly move up the GC. Consone in second. We have the podium of the race. Pascal Epperman takes another stage. Same time as those climbers that attack Duplus and Quinn Simmons. That moves him, he stays in GC. Corbin Strong, top 4 stays the same, I think. Nizzolo gaining some seconds doing the same time as Consonic. The rest of the bunch now 25 seconds back. Few changes here as GC positions on stages affects this. Best climber, Brady Gilmore with those great sprints in today's breakaway to wear him the yellow jersey. Points classification still Pascal Ackerman. Corbin Strong still in youth. As we see a few riders losing time today. Lund Anderson losing some time. 8 seconds now the lead he has ahead of Lenny Martinez. And HTC Columbia take over the lead of the team's classification. Looks like just a reorder. The same teams on the same time. Time for Aaron, time for Aaron to get slogged on a real climb. Absolutely, S3. Any time gaps on this stage? 48 seconds back. Filippo Concha Aldani. 1 minute back. Uta Brooks losing more time. Another minute lost on this stage. Valgren losing time. Jai Hindley loses a minute 59. Simon Clark 2 minutes 15. Omar Fraley another 2 minutes 15. Han van Hoyke 2 minutes 15. Fuck's sake. Eddie Dunbar another 2 minutes 15, I think. Well, shit. Here's the GCs, who is still in contention for overall with tomorrow's mountain stage. Bardet, Formulo, Martinez, I guess Tullet, Guilmartin, Patrick Conrad, Cepeda, Volta. Duplus is 45 seconds back, which is only 20 seconds behind these guys here. Not Costa. Oh, it's going to be an interesting mountain stage. Points are still Ackerman, mountain is Gilmore, youth is Corbin Strong, and team is HTC Columbia. Here we have it, the big fuck off mountain stage. Gul Chicone is the favourite. Then Romain Bardet and Sijn Uterbrooks. Uterbrooks looks to be having a shitter of a tour. He is significant time down. Lenny Martinez probably in with a chance. Jai Hindley, Martin de Plus. Steph Kras, he lost at a time. I guess the real question will be who's going to take it. Stage 4, Tour of Oman back in 2013. For none other than Joaquim Rodriguez of Team Katusha. 4 seconds ahead of Christopher Froome of Sky Pro Cycling. Cadel Evans 22 seconds back, followed by Alberto Contador on 27. Nibali, Kenny Elissonde, Johan Strop, Ronaldo Nocentini, Arnold Jensen, and Yannick. There's just, geez, a whole lot of nobodies at the end, but Nibali, Contador, Evans, Froome, but Joaquim Rodriguez, who didn't really win too much, ran the mountain stage in the Tour of Oman. We're probably going to see a big shake-up in the overall GC top 10. A lot of those riders who are now the back end of the top 10, like Romain Bardet, 25 seconds down. He'll be making a big push for it. On the Great Mountain, average 9.9%, max 12.9. Holy shit. You know it's bad when the name of the mountain is Great Mountain. Will we see perhaps some of the sprinters in the breakaway? Looks like we won't, but we'll see Sijn Uterbrooks trying to get himself in the breakaway. He, of course, is 4 minutes down. The wind is reasonably strong today. It's coming from a tailwind at the moment. 17 kilometers. We see Jash, Costa, Berati, and Capron. 2 riders from Sabka Anikala once again in the breakaway. Jenny Moscon trying to get across, but it looks like the Farm Flights rider is not letting him. Will this be a day for the breakaway with Uterbrooks out in front? It perhaps could be. 5 riders are now established out in front, 2 minutes 50. Gap is growing, but not significant enough to possibly take the stage. Maybe Uterbrooks is working as a satellite rider, but who would he be working for? Groupama FDJ, well, he's their best placed rider. 4 minutes down. Not a good race for them. Intermediate sprint with, of course, mountain points, sprint points, and bonus seconds up for grabs. Riders here do not have any of those intermediate sprint points in at all, so perhaps they could take the lead of that classification, which is Brady Gilmore 6 points. All they have to do is win both of these today, which 50-50 whether it's likely or not. 4 kilometers to the intermediate sprint as we head back to the peloton real quick. We see it's Santander on the front. Farm Fritz writes once again. And Dimension Data taking a bit more of a back step on today's stage. 1.6 to the intermediate sprint. Jash is leading out with quite a strong speed. I think Capron should be the favourite for the intermediate sprint. Perhaps Uterbrooks will try something. Nope, he just rolls through gently, getting those 3 bonus seconds. Woohoo! He's now 3:59 down on Ackerman. Back to the peloton, they're catching slowly. Santander doing most of the pacemaking. We see Franco of Team Mitchelton. Ooh, I haven't seen much of Mitchelton this race. Wonder what they're up to in the GC. Mitchelton Premier Tech in GC. Patrick Conrad sitting 13th, 25 seconds down. Not doing too badly. Franco finds his way back into the peloton. Once again, more flat terrain. Slight wind from the side, but only 10 kilometers an hour. Nothing too major. Nothing to affect the outcome of the race too significantly. Oh, rider been dropped from the breakaway. Who is that? Looks like Beretti had a fall from the breakaway. Beretti of Team Bahrain Victorious finds himself in no man's land, halfway between the breakaway, halfway between the peloton. And it looks like he's going to try and catch his breakaway companions once again. He's catching a few seconds. Maybe the breakaway is going to wait for him. Maybe Race Radio have told them Beretti is about to join them. And he is getting close, but now is fading, so he's getting further away again. But the gap to Beretti and the peloton is reducing significantly, now only 40 seconds. We see Stef Klaas, possibly joint leader of Team Santander, who is their best placed rider. Formolo in 9th position, so it looks like Stef Klaas is working for Formolo. 24 kilometers to the next intermediate sprint, which will happen at the foot of the big climb. Jash has now been dropped off from Sebgal, any colour from the breakaway. Minute now is the gap. Will we see some sneaky attack from Uterbrooks? Maybe he'll try and take the stage. I guess that could have been his goal for today, with only 40 seconds now on the peloton. It doesn't look like that is going to happen. It is Mateusz Kopecky of Team ATT who's on the front. Interesting by these lads here. Not sure why they're on the front, but not going to complain too much. Gorka Izigeta is the rider to make the catch on the breakaway. And Santander comes straight back to the front. Uterbrooks filing in behind Roger Adria. Ooh, looks like Uterbrooks has a bit of energy. Will Uterbrooks try something on this climb? 2.7 kilometers to the intermediate sprint. Ackerman's up near the front. He's been waiting all day for this. He wants these points. That's the only reason he's here. Up towards the 4. Corbin Strong finds himself towards the front. Maybe he's going to go for these intermediate sprints also. Any other sprinters up here? Not at the stage. No one's going for it. Sick. Stef Klaas takes it ahead of Rex and Adria in 3rd. It is 10 kilometers to go now for the peloton. They're about to start the Great Mountain. Ooh. I do not want to go up the Great Mountain. I'll tell you that. 8.6 to go. The Great Mountain is how long in length? 7.1 kilometers. 1 kilometer to the bottom of the category. Must be category 1 climb. Not sure. Only 15. Holy shit, look how steep that looks. Bloody hell. The speed is reducing significantly as the peloton bunches up. The good news is, it looks like no one's struggling as of yet. Riders are just sitting up though at the back. Scarponi, the rider from San Marino. We see the riders at the front who can climb, accelerating away from the riders who cannot, who are just being left behind. There we are, Brahomi, the first rider to be struggling up the climb. At the front of the peloton, Ackerman still chilling up there. Nizzolo back in his green jersey for today's stage. He, of course, is 3rd overall. 4.9 kilometers to the top. They're through one of the steep sections now. 12.3%. What's happening here? Corbin Strong following the likes of Guillaume Martin. Corbin Strong back on his good form. Ackerman also following though. Perhaps need to check some of the riders after the stage. Formolo pulls to the right hand side of the road. Is he trying to create a gap there? Stef Klaas moving up. Televolta launching an attack. The current Hungarian national champion Talat, Bade, Martin and Strong. Ooh, Ackerman keeping himself up towards the front. 3 kilometers to go. Interesting turn of events. Yeah, Coleman Strong's dead. Never mind. Bade's dead. Ciccone is looking strong. Will we see an attack from the Italian? I mean, if a rider wants to win it, he has to kind of probably go now. It's not going to come down to a sprint. 1.7 kilometers to go. It's still 10%. Still very, very tough for these riders. 91 riders in the peloton. No one's doing any attacks. Why not? Oh, Ciccone is on the front. There is a strong wind, but they're in a mountain. The more problem is the mountain. On the right-hand side is Michael Valgren. Valgren trying to chase down Ciccone, but Ciccone wins. He has time to celebrate. He just increases the pace slightly up the Great Mountain. Paulus is going to come in second. Looks like Aramburu is going to be up there in third. Ooh, yes, HTC with a fourth and a sixth. Valgren missing out on that late push to the line. The question will be, will this be bunch time? Will the likes of Nizzolo get the same time as Ciccone? If so, Nizzolo might still be in the lead. At the back with Guttabonzia, a few riders, a few team managers yelling words at each other, specifically the Sevgo Anicolor and the Kubate Sake managers yelling at each other. Ciccone takes the win. There is time gaps. Congratulations, 10 seconds ahead of Nelson Paulus and Alex Aramburu. Quinn Simmons 21 seconds down with the second bunch. Well done to Valgren. So Peter Scaroni is in that front group of riders. Holy shit. Bunch sprint 7 kilometers at 10%. Ciccone leads the race, 16 seconds in Aramburu, and Nizzolo in third. Scaroni in fourth. Holy shit. Brady Gilmore still in the best climber classification. Pascal Ackerman still in points, 7 seconds ahead of Consoni Nizzolo. Corbin Strong dropping Aramburu, overtaking him in that classification. And Lenny Martinez taking over the white jersey from Corbin Strong. Corbin Strong now 27 seconds back on Martinez. Pedro Pinto getting a 16th place. And HTC Columbia outright 4 seconds in the team's classification. One stage to go, I think, in the Tour of Oman. But there we have the Queen stage of the race. Very, very decisive. Very, very odd. We didn't, expected more. I mean, Ciccone winning, not really odd, but some of these sprinters keeping up. I guess Scaroni is more of a puncher than a sprinter. But the likes of Nizzolo doing as well as he did. There he is there in that second bunch on the road, 24 seconds down. 45 seconds back, we have the likes of Corbin Strong. Han van Hoyke leading that group across the line. Unlucky for the Mapai squad. Where did Uta Brooks finish? That's the real question, right? Uta Brooks, 3 minutes down. He's just on a bad day, man. Absolute horrendous day. And GC for time, Ciccone, but Nizzolo holds his position, and Bardet, unlucky for him, holds his position 8th overall. Looks like more of the Punchuri riders overtook the mountain climbers there today. Ackerman still on points, Brady in mountain, and Martinez. Next stage, a huge gaps normally. Ooh, let's have a look at that. Let's hope that happens. Some more excitement in the Tour of Oman is the next stage, the last stage. The next stage is the last stage. Tour of Oman, oh yes, look at that. 3 ascents of the Bush Almbat. Favourites for the stage, Ciccone, of course, his first overall. Bardet, Martin, Scaroni, Costa. Looks like a puncher mountain climbery day. Tour of Oman, let's do it. And let's look back through 2013, the final stage of the Tour of Oman. What happened in real life? Christopher Froome of Sky Pro Cycling beat Alberto Contador and Joaquin Rodriguez in a 3-man sprint. 4 seconds back to Impey, Stibar, Nocentini, Shop, Evans, and Hernandez Blaquez. 8 seconds back for Domenico Pozzovivo, then 34 seconds back to the next bunch on the road. Chris Froome won the overall. Contador, then Evans, then Rodriguez. Starting on a climb, what a shit of a start. Small, looks like a small, what's that small, like, percentage of a climb? Small 2% climb, and then into a straight into like a, what's that, 5%? fuck, that's a shit day. Hopefully they allow a breakaway to get away. Be kind of shitty if there was intermediate sprint points straight on that climb. That would be sprinter's worst nightmare. Straight off the starting block, straight into a climb. Moss gone up the road. He's got 3 points in that intermediate classification. Perhaps he wants to take that yellow jersey away from Gilmore of Sabgar any colour. Not really sure who's working. It looks like Gilmore might be having his team on the front, trying to keep the likes of Moscon from stealing his jersey. It is the final stage, so if he wants to do it, he probably should do it earlier rather than later. It's easy to chase the breakaway when the gap is small. Simon Clark trying to jump across to that front group for St. Michael Uber. More riders trying to find themselves up the road. Sabga Enix Colour sending Cabron and Ida Schelling of St. Michael Uber trying to join Simon Clark. Morin of Mitchelton Premier Tech, haven't seen much of them this race, but good to see them helping out in the pacemaking. Only one team with white shorts, and of course is Team HTC Columbia High Road, and they have Martinez in the white jersey. I mean, Red Bull KTM's got blue shorts. I guess most teams have black. They've got the funky other ones. They've got the pink ones. Downgrade. I agree. No, I don't agree. Aaron Buru deserves. The two riders from St. Michael have caught up to each other. They're with Capron trying to get across to Mendoza, Mattis, and Moscon. Two riders from Tudor Pro Cycling in the breakaway. 2 minutes 46. As Dimension Data show their cards once again. Remember, they're first and third on GC with both a climber and a sprinter. Oh shit, I see what you mean, but we got lots of gaps in this stage. Holy shit. We just went down a little descent and there were a whole lot of splits. So perhaps not a day to have a million for. Holy crap, what is this climb here? It's like over 10% just before the intermediate sprint. Here's hoping it's a punchery day for perhaps the likes of Corbin Strong to come back out of nowhere. Nothing really happening. Breakaway still chilling happy. Only 2 minutes 30 up the road, so nothing big. Definitely day for the peloton again. But I want to see what happens to the breakaway when they get to this climb. As we see Nelson Paulus with a puncture. He's out the back, but only just. Looks like a lot of riders grabbing water for their teams. Berardi, Pinto. Did we say Pinto got 16th on the stage? Portuguese drug money coming in clutch. 5Ks till the intermediate sprint as they are climbing this hell of a climb. 12% out of nowhere just to make those legs a little bit tired before they hit the real climbs of the day. Mendoza leading them over the top. Here we go, 1.3 intermediate sprint. Small splits are happening in the peloton. Ackerman drops the wheel. EF Education first, dropping back for their leader Nizzolo in this second bunch. Chimalai going to have to make the catch at the front. We missed the intermediate sprint. But who takes it? Simon Clark, Skilling, then Maris. 1-2 for St. Michael Uber. Well done. Then the peloton is all back together for this intermediate sprint. Hopefully some tired legs there for riders who are in that second bunch. Hopefully none of my riders were there. I am entirely biased when it comes to my team. Corbin Strong no longer in white. He feels odd in a plain jersey. Hopefully he can step up today. Maybe take a stage win. Get some more points for us. minute now. The gap to the breakaway is reducing significantly. Looks like the work of Mitchelton Premier Tech to Dome on the front of for EF Education Easy Post. Zimmerman of Team Santander also helping out with the pacemaking. Ackerman, he looks like he's 49th overall, but he's first in the points classification. Will anyone be able to get close to him today? The fun is about to start. We are about... Why is that countdown, man? There should be a gap to go. Anyway. What's happening here? Everyone's all scrumming together. No one really wants to roll through. Moscon's not really doing too much. Capron, 6.8 Ks to the top of the first ascent of the Busha Alambat. Let's have a look at the map of today's course. Holy crap, that section's red. Does that mean it's pain? It looks like it is painful. Scaroni at the front, maybe trying to get some of these mountain points. There's no mountain points on offer. All mountain points are at the intermediate sprint on the third ascent of the climb. Peloton's sitting up, leaving it to Mitchelton Premier Tech to make the final catch. Moscon leading them up the roads. The roads are skinny, so if they're not towards the front, it could cause some serious damage and they could lose some significant times, and the time gaps that ensue, I guess probably the better word. Utter Brooks, of course, finds himself towards the back of the peloton. Gilmore, Kellerman also chilling at the back. Dunbar, Hermans, Grigard, Van Hoyke, Classic, Gate, Boyven, all of the Mapai squad at the back. What a joke. Lenny Martinez right at the front. Are we seeing some of the punchers now trying something? David D. Formolo looks like he's pushing the pace a little bit up this climb. They're catching the remnants of the breakaway. Mendoza is the first to be caught, only 5 rows back left. Simon Clark, Ida Schelling, and Cabron have been dropped. Formolo still pushing like mad up the climb. The breakaway has now been caught entirely. Moscon and Maris. We see an attack on the right hand side. Alex Bodan of Team UAE Emirates. He is 12th overall, 34 seconds down with 40 kilometers to go. He's going for it. Verstrange, is he going to try and chase for their leader? No, Verstrange is trying to go up the road also. Perhaps it's just the AI thinking this is the KOM when they don't get KOM points here. Over the top, Verstrange holds 30 seconds on the peloton, and Alexis Baudon another 45 seconds ahead of Verstrange. Riders are beginning to fall off the back of the peloton. Remember, the road is quite tight also. There are some small splits occurring between these bunches. Holy crap, Cartelius was correct, as we see who was in the middle there. But they've been caught. It's just Alexis Baudon out in front, a minute 24 with 35 kilometers to go. There's a short descent through the valley, looks like around the loop, and back up the same climb once again. Big gaps happening in the peloton. Mendoza's out the back. Ciccone still finds himself at the front of the peloton. Henley Martinez still here. Scaroni's doing well. Minute 43, an excellent move by Alexis Baudon. He perhaps could be riding himself into the red leader's jersey. He's about to begin his second ascent of the climb. Bosha Amat. Will we see an attack perhaps from Jai Henley? Maybe Ciccone to protect his red jersey. But no, Pinto of Kubate Sake is doing an excellent work at the front. We see a poorly timed puncture for Anderson. Although he's not a GC rider, not the worst time in the world. Alex Aramburu, of course, being protected by Pinto. Pinto's done his work. He's making his way towards the Gruppetto. Time to chill. It's the last stage, man. He's not going to push himself more than he has to. Jai Henley must be working for someone else. Who is Jai Henley working for? Guillaume Martin, that's who he's working for. That's why he's on the front doing some of the pacemaking. Bolden about to make that over the top of the climb. First for the second time, still holding a minute 40. The gap is reducing ever so slightly, but nothing to be too worried about at this stage. The peloton is all flapping around. Henley doesn't want to be the only one doing the pacemaking. More splits happening on the climb. Jake Stewart losing the wheel ever so slightly for Strides. Cassoni is gone out the back now. Corbin Strong's hanging on to the front group. Well done to him, but over the top there'll be a bit of a, what do you call it, elastic effect as the bunches push and pull away from each other. A minute 17 is still the lead for Alexis Baudin. Patrick Conrad attacks over the top, taking Ciccone and Martinez with them. Alex Aramburu, Hindley, and Volta are in quick chase. This time at the end of this hill, there is a longer valley to perhaps recover some energy. Maybe get back together. The descent. Other riders to catch back on. Corbin Strong is 48 seconds behind this front group. He's setting up, waiting for the second group on the road with Verstrange, Consoni, Valgren, and Frigo. Alexis Baudin now only has 45 seconds. The Ciccone group has been caught by the rest of the favourites, and Jai Hindley is moving herself back to the front. What an excellent domestique. Ciccone is on the front. Nizzolo is not in this group, is he? He is not. Looks like Nizzolo's... There he is, just past him. There's Otterbrooks out at the back, as always. Alexis Baudin just in front of the red car of death, 16 seconds ahead of the peloton. His move looked good in the beginning, but it's not looking so good now. If he has some energy, maybe he can go again on the third and final ascent. Remember, there is bonus seconds at the top of this climb for the riders. Corbin Strong did not make it back to that front group. There's Nizzolo in the second group on the road. Corbin Strong is about to join, and Ciccone is dead. Gil Ciccone, he's done a lot of pacemaking in today's race. He is looking dead. If I were any other team, I'd be pushing it right now. Team Dimension Data were first and third overall. They are losing both those places today. Looks like Gil Martin of Sudal Quickstep, who had Jai Hindley on the front, is pushing the pace. Martinez, the white jersey, also dropping down the road. Quinn Simmons could find himself in white today, potentially. Ben Tullett, if he holds on, but it looks like Ben Tullett is also looking in not the greatest shape. Two riders for Bahrain Victorious still out in front. One left now. It's just a plus. 8 riders left. 12 kilometers to go. Attila Volta over the top in first position. Rui Costa out of nowhere. We thought Intermarché did him wonders. Look how Hogarth Farm Frights is treating him. Look at him. Second place. Second up the big climb. Quinn Simmons also gone. Only 5 riders left. 4 riders. Adria, Costa, Volta. Simmons hanging on for dear life in the descent. Going down 11%. 9.3 kilometers to go. Just behind them is Remy Rochas of Team Bahrain Victorious. None of these riders here are really doing that well, but it looks like Volta is the best placed. Yes, Attila Volta is the best placed. 34 seconds down. Looks like this is Volta's to win. That's why Volta's riding on the front. Roches will catch up. Bardet and Martin, these two are better placed than all the riders up the road. If any of these two catch up to the front group, they will win the Tour of Oman overall. How far behind Volta are they? Volta's 34 seconds down. Same time as Martin and Bardet, actually. They're all on the same time. It's all going to come down to the sprint finish. 3.3 kilometers to go. We see Martin has attacked the Bardet there. They're going at it alone. It's going to be a sprint between these 6 riders. I think Simmons has possibly got it in the bag, unless Rochas can surprise them all with a big surprise sprint. But instead it's Paulus, the American, who goes through the middle. It is Roger Adria. It's a big photo finish to the line. Rui Costa, Farm Frights has awoken Rui Costa from his sleep. Rui Costa taking stage 5 of the Tour of Oman. The legend that is. Martin finishes ahead of Bardet, the plus in 9th. 10th place, Patrick Conrad outsprints Martinez and Tullett. Alex Baudin, who tried something, I mean, he's done pretty well for himself, finishing in 13th. Then Cepeda of ATT Investments. Gil Ciccone finishing 3 minutes down on the stage, the same time as Jai Hindley. Well, I mean, ATT's doing better than me. None of my riders passed the finish line. Alex Aramburu, 20th. There's Corbin Strong, trying to sprint Nizzolo. Not working out for him. What a stage. I should have sent a better climber, but I guess all I have is Vlasov when it comes to that. Let's look at the podium. Rui Costa wins the 5-man sprint. Rochas in 6th, 18 seconds down. Martin a minute 7, Bardet a minute 23. The plus 151, Patrick Conrad 203. What the actual shit? No, Costa was too far down on GC. Volta takes GC. Whew. Red Bull KTM, Attila Volta, ahead of Nelson Paulus and Quinn Simmons. Rui Costa is, I guess he's revived, but not revived enough. Gilmartin and Bardet in the middle. Brady Gilmore takes the best climber intermediate classification. Well done to Sebco Anycolor. You guys won a jersey. You guys did bloody well. Points will be Ackerman, if I'm not mistaken. Ackerman, 7 points ahead of Consoni. Nizzolo in third, Aaron Buru, then Corbin Strong. And team classification will still be HTC. Young rider Quinn Simmons. Ooh, Martinez loses that classification also. Well done to the rider from Borla Hansgrohe. And team, yes, HTC 9 seconds ahead of Red Bull KTM. And there we have it, the final stage of the Tour of Oman. Well done to Rui Costa. Bloody hell. Big time gaps, just like Kaktilis said. Unlucky for Gil Ciccone. I think he worked too much in that stage. Martinez saying goodbye to his white jersey also. Lots of time gaps for the riders. Let's have a look at the overall GC. There we have it. Attila Volta takes the Tour of Oman ahead of Nelson Paulus, Quinn Simmons. Well done to Martinez, Conrad and Tullett for staying inside the top 10. I guess Bardet and Martin also. Corbin Strong finishing just outside the top 20 in 21st. Jai Hindley there also. Oh man, did ATT Investments beat me? There's Uta Brooks, 61st. He moved up 23 places, but still 11 minutes down. Not a good day for the Belgian. ATT Investments finished 12th with Cepeda. Yeah, they certainly beat me. Points classification, Ackerman has that in the bag. Mountain, which we said was intermediate sprints. Brady Gilmore, Sebco Anycolor, well done to you. Young riders, Quinn Simmons moving up 6 positions in that white jersey. It all came down to that final stage. And the team HTC Columbia reigning supreme there. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, peoples. Thanks for enjoying the Tour of Oman. And perhaps I'll do a stream next week for whatever race we have next time. Thanks for joining.